What is up, everybody? Alex from WMD here, back at you again, and today we're going to be talking about EQ in the Eurorack system, primarily using SCLPL, our brand new dual mono/stereo EQ and morphing filter. I'm going to keep this one real quick. I've already got the patch set up. What we're going to do is just basically line up a bass drum and a bass line and try and EQ them so they fit together. I'm going to do this live with my headphones. I definitely recommend using speakers or headphones. These are not the best studio quality headphones, but we're going to see what we can do with this. So yeah, let's just dive in. So here's the patch I have. Here's my bass line. This bass line is from the assimilator running two waveforms. Basically, one is phase modulating the other. So when the filter's all the way open, get this real raunchy kind of thing. And then this is what it sounds like when it goes through carbon. And now here is, I'm going to go through and bypass my SCLPL, just so we know that both sides are completely bypassed. Now here's the kick drum. So that sounds pretty good together, right? We can go to this other sequence I have. Maybe take out this kick a little bit. And by that I mean bring out the decay. Alright, so now we kind of got them fighting each other here. So this is where I'm going to start. I'm going to go through, and the first thing I'm going to do is EQ my kick drum against the bass. So my kick drum is running through the A side of SCLPL. So I'm going to flip the switch to the A side, and I'm going to turn SCLPL on with I/O. Now you can hear I already have something set up, so I'm just going to initialize that by holding morph and then holding I/O. Now there's our kick drum. So the first thing I'm noticing is that I've got some body, I've got some noise coming out of the kick, and I've got a lot of high end. So I'm going to go find that real quick. So I'm going to go to the high band. There we are. Now I'm going to take the level and just take it down. Now you can hear that I've taken some of that noise out, but that click's still there. So now I'm going to bring the frequency down just a little bit. There we go, I like that. I can hear everything in the high end in the bass line or the bass voice a little bit more, even though there's not much that going on in the high end. So now I'm going to go over to the right side. I'm going to go to the carbon side or the bass line side, and I'm going to take out some of that low end. So first I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to initialize it. And this is what we've got here. So I'm going to go to the low end. And first thing, I'm just going to turn it up so we can really hear what that low end sounds like. I mean, that sounds mean as absolute hell, but let's just take it down a little bit. So here is bypassed. And here's it back in. So just taking out a tiny bit of that low end. Now I have this kind of quack sound that I can hear in there. I'm going to go see if I can find that and take it out. So first I'm just going to bring the resonance up just a tiny bit more. And then I'm going to go to like the mid band here. And I'm going to boost with a narrow Q, and I'm going to go find it. Ooh, that's pretty loud and nasty, so let's take that out. So that's all the way out. Might be a little much. That sounds pretty good. So now the two together, that's what they sound like. Here, I'm going to bypass the bass line's EQ. So you can hear a nice and subtle change. So let's go to that other sequence. Alright, I think I'm going to take a little bit more of the low end out of the bass line. There we go. Now I can really hear the bass line standing on top of the kick drum. That might be a little bit much. I just turned this knob and pitched my bass line up 60 semitones. So that sounds weird. Let's go back to where it was. I think it was at -2. There we go. Let's exit out of there so we don't do that again. Oh my god, we did it again. I think this might be the one. That sounds pretty good, right? So who knows if that's the same, but we're just going to keep it rolling. Let's take this low end out just a little bit more. Alright, I'm going to go to this next band and I'm going to try and find the low mids. Right there. That's kind of like stacking on top of the kick, so we're just going to take that out too. Not too much, just a little bit. Alright, so now we'll bypass. So it just sounds a little bit more clean. This might be a little bit too much, like I said, but sounds pretty good for something like a live set. So now we could bring in the rest of our patch. So yeah, we've got more room in our kick drum. We took out some of that high end, but left the click in there, and then made some more room in the low end with our bass line. So now let's try and do the opposite. We're going to do a clicky kick drum, high end kick drum, and a super subby low end bass line. So first, I'm just going to go through and initialize both sides, and we'll start with the kick. So a lot of times when you're EQing, you don't want to just rely on the solo sound. You don't want to just solo something and then make it sound as good as you can by itself and then bring everything else in, because now it's not really a part of the mix. But what we're going to do is we're just going to take the kick, we're going to solo it for a minute, and then we'll bring the bass line in. So here we go. We're going to go to the A side, and we're just going to go to the low band, and we're going to take some of it out. We're not going to take that much of it out. So here is it normal. We'll take a little bit more than that. Okay, that's pretty good, right? So bypassed, unbypassed, so not too much, not a little bit. Now we'll take the bass line, and then for the bass line, we'll go to the right side here. We've already initialized it, but we'll do it again just to be sure. We're on the low band. Let's turn that guy up. Dang, that's dope. Now we're gonna go take out, like, let's take some mids out. Let's go find something. Yeah, take that out. And then we'll go take out the high end here. So now we're on the high shelf. Oh, I hit morph on accident. So now we're going on the high shelf. Right? There we go. Let me take that out. And now we can bring this kick drum in. We've got that high end kick. Let's go to the kick side, take a little bit more of that low end in, or low end out. Way too much. That's pretty cool. So it really depends on what kind of music you're making on, you know, bass line versus bass drum EQ. Some are going to be really heavily focused on having a really subby kick, and then your bass line is going to be more on the top of that, floating over it. You can also create more room with your kick with sidechain compression, or literally just not programming notes where you have kick, notes. But then on the flip side, you know, that's like heavy techno, house music. A lot of that stuff is going to rely on the kick drum. On the flip side, you have like more of like a funky, kind of old school sound, which is definitely going to have more sub, like in the bass, like bass guitar kind of sound. And then you're going to have more of like a clicky kick drum over the top of that. So really depending on what kind of style you want, obviously EQing is a really great way just to keep things not fighting each other while in the mix. So that's it. Hope that inspires you a little bit and shows you how you can use EQ in your own Eurorack system for live performance and studio use. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please like and subscribe, and we will see you all next time. Peace.